Welcome, everyone, to another deep dive. Really glad you could join us.
It's great to be diving into another text.
Today, we're going way back, immersing ourselves in a really foundational story from Genesis chapter 18. We're using the 21st century King James Version for this one. It gives us that classic feel, but, in language that's a bit more accessible, maybe.
The Uber Bridge.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack this amazing encounter. It touches on, so much hospitality, divine promises, what justice means. It all unfolds when Abraham gets some very unexpected visitors.
It's a story packed with very human reactions alongside these huge divine moments, full of surprising details.
It really is. Okay, let's dive in.
Let's do it.
So Genesis 18, it starts off painting this really vivid scene. Verse 1, you've got Abraham just sitting at his tent door. It's the plains of Mamre, middle of the day. The heat, you could almost feel it.
That oppressive midday heat, yeah.
Then, verse 2, he looks up and bam, 3 men are just standing there. Kind of appears out of nowhere, it seems.
Suddenly there.
And Abraham's reaction is just, wow, immediate. He doesn't wait. He runs to meet them, bows right down to the ground, and he pleads with them, basically, in verse 3. My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. That's intense deference, isn't it? More than just saying hello.
Oh, absolutely. It's far beyond just being polite. In that ancient Near Eastern context, hospitality was, it was sacred, a massive obligation.
Right.
In such a harsh environment, turning someone away wasn't just rude, it could be a death sentence. So Abraham rushing out, bowing like that, it shows incredible respect. It suggests he maybe sensed something extraordinary about these guys, even if he didn't know exactly who they were yet.
He's desperate for them to stay. Pass not away, he begs. It really feels like he needs them to accept.
Precisely. And look at his initial offer in verses 4 and 5. It sounds quite modest, actually. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched. Wash your feet. Rest yourselves under the tree.
And I will fetch a morsel of bread. A little snack, right?
That's what he says. But what he actually does is anything but a little snack. It's a feast.
This part always gets me. He totally undersells it. Verse 6, he rushes into the tent to Sarah. Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal.
3 measures? That's an enormous amount of flour.
Yeah, not for 3 guys having a quick bite. That's enough for a huge crowd. He tells her, knead it and make cakes upon the hearth.
And he doesn't stop there. Verse 7, Abraham himself runs out to the herd, picks out a calf, tender and good, and gets it prepared quickly.
It's not just, ordering servants around. He's orchestrating this massive meal with incredible speed and personal effort.
And then verse 8 shows his direct involvement. He took the butter, the milk, the calf he had prepared. He set it before them.
Stood right there with them under the tree while they ate. He served them himself. That level of generosity, that humility for strangers is just immense. The sheer effort is staggering.
And what's fascinating, I think, is how this radical hospitality, it's not just about following cultural rules. It actually becomes the doorway, the catalyst for everything that follows. It shows how embracing the unknown, even when it's inconvenient, can open up these unexpected divine encounters.
That's a great point. So as the meal winds down, the conversation shifts, and it gets even more intense. Verse 9, the guests ask him, where is Sarah thy wife?
Simple question, seemingly.
Right. He says, behold, in the tent. And then, verse 10, one of them, who we quickly realize is the Lord, drops this bombshell. I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life, and lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son.
Wow. Just like that. And you immediately need the context from verse 11, which the text provides right away.
Crucial context.
It states very clearly, now Abraham and Sarah were old and well-stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women.
So not just old, we're talking biologically impossible from a human standpoint. She's way past childbearing age. Abraham's ancient too. This promise just flies the face of all reality.
Completely defies nature, yes.
And this leads us straight into Sarah's reaction, which is just so human. She's inside the tent, behind him, listening. Verse 12 says she laughs within herself.
A silent laugh, almost.
Yeah, and her thought is quoted, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also. You can almost hear that quiet, maybe slightly cynical chuckle of disbelief. Who could blame her, really?
It doesn't strike me as outright defiance. More like you said, a very understandable human reaction to something utterly illogical. It perfectly captures that tension, doesn't it, between lived experience, what you know is possible biologically, and this promise that just shatters everything.
And the response is instant. even to her unspoken thought. Verse 13, the Lord asks Abraham, "Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child who am old?"
He heard her internal thought.
Directly addresses it. Then comes that incredibly powerful question in verse 14. Is anything too hard for the Lord? Rhetorical, almost.
Almost a gentle challenge to that human limitation perspective.
He then repeats the promise, nailing down the timing. At the time appointed I will return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Absolute certainty, cutting right through the doubt.
And Sarah's reaction to being called out is just, well, it's fear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Verse 15, she denies it. I laughed not, she says, for she was afraid.
Completely relatable. Who wouldn't be afraid in that moment?
Exactly. But the Lord's response is so knowing, yet gentle. Nay, but thou didst laugh. No condemnation, just a statement of fact. It's this moment of incredible intimacy, really.
Yeah.
Shows nothing is hidden, not even a silent internal laugh.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How would you, listening now, react if you heard a promise that just defied every bit of logic and experience you had? It's something to ponder.
Definitely.
Okay, so this intense personal moment about Sarah's future concludes, and the scene shifts again. Verse 16, the men get up, look towards Sodom, and Abraham, ever the host, walks with them part of the way, to bring them on the way.
And here we get this unique peek behind the divine curtain, so to speak. Verse 17, the Lord has this internal thought, almost a deliberation. Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do?
It's amazing. It feels like the divine is almost consulting with Abraham, sharing this incredibly serious plan.
And the reason given for sharing it, in verses 18 and 19, is profound. The Lord lays it out Abraham's destiny. He shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and through him all the nations of the earth shall be blessed.
Yeah, that's the foundational promise.
But it's linked to why God trusts him, verse 19. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment.
So it's about his character, his commitment to justice. That's why he's being led in on this.
Precisely. He's not just a patriarch. He's chosen because he's expected to be a force for righteousness, teaching his descendants the same. It connects his personal faithfulness to this larger divine plan for justice in the world.
Wow. Okay, and speaking of justice, as you're listening, if you're finding this discussion insightful, please do take a moment to like the Peace Project For All channel. It really helps us keep these conversations going. We appreciate you joining us.
I really do. Thank you.
So after establishing why he's telling Abraham, the Lord then reveals the grim situation in verses 20 and 21. Because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous.
The outcry has reached heaven, essentially.
Yes, and God states the intention, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is, come unto me, and if not, I will know. It's framed as an investigation, a verification.
It emphasizes due process, in a way, not acting solely on hearsay, even for the divine. It needs to be confirmed firsthand.
And this sets up the next incredible scene. Verse 22, the other two men, we assume the angels, they turn and head towards Sodom. But Abraham, he doesn't leave. He stood yet before the Lord.
That moment is so charged. The stage is set for one of the most remarkable dialogues in, well, any sacred text.
Absolutely. This direct, intimate back and forth, it leads into Abraham's incredible act of intercession. Verse 23, he draws near, steps forward, and takes this unbelievably bold stance. He challenges God directly on justice. Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? And then that powerful foundational question, shall not the judge of all the earth do right?
Stunning. The audacity, but also the deep faith underpinning it. He believes God is just, and he's appealing to that very nature. Remember, this is the same man who just called himself but dust and ashes.
Right. That humility is still there, but it doesn't stop him from engaging in this negotiation.
And it's so systematic, isn't it? He starts the bargaining.
He does. Verse 24, he starts high. Perhaps there be 50 righteous within the city. Will you spare it for 50?
And the Lord immediately agrees in verse 26. If I find in Sodom 50 righteous, then I will scare all the place for their sakes.
But Abraham isn't done. You can almost feel him taking a deep breath. Verse 28, perhaps there shall lack 5 of the 50. What about 45?
And again, the Lord says yes. Spare it for 45.
Then Abraham pushes again, verse 29, 40.
God agrees.
Verse 30, he prefaces it, oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. 30.
I tell you.
Verse 31, he pushes to 20. Same preface, same agreement.
You can feel the tension building. How far will he go? How far will God's mercy extend?
And finally, verse 32, his last attempt. Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet, but this once, perhaps 10 shall be found there, just 10 righteous people.
And the Lord's final answer, I will not destroy it for 10's sake.
Wow. That whole exchange, it's breathtaking.
It truly is. It reveals so much about the nature of God's mercy, God's willingness to engage with human pleas for justice. It's not about Abraham tricking God or changing an immutable decree, but more about revealing the depth of that divine compassion and justice. God meets Abraham in that space of intercession. It shows an amazing accessibility.
So what does this all mean? What do we take away? Verse 33 simply says, "The Lord left when he finished speaking, and Abraham went home." This incredible negotiation just ends. But it leaves us with so much to think about, doesn't it? Justice, mercy, our role, humanity's relationship with the divine.
The power of one person appealing to that divine justice.
Definitely. So just to wrap up this deep dive into Genesis 18, what a journey. We saw Abraham's extraordinary, over-the-top hospitality, how serving strangers opened the door to the divine.
That radical welcome.
Then Sarah's incredibly relatable human reaction, that laugh of disbelief at a promise that seemed utterly impossible. And the gentle, knowing divine response, confirming that nothing is too hard for the Lord.
Highlighting faith versus human limitation.
And finally, Abraham's bold, courageous intercession for Sodom. That step-by-step negotiation, appealing to God's own justice and revealing the depths of divine mercy.
It's just packed with timeless insights, isn't it? Faith, doubt, justice, mercy. It's all there. Shows the complexity of human character in these profound divine interactions.
It really does.
You know, this deep dive, it really emphasizes how these moments of human vulnerability, Sarah's doubt, Abraham's plea meeting, divine accessibility, can actually lead to transformative outcomes, revealing God's character in new ways. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? In our own lives today, what perhaps unlikely promises are just waiting for us to believe them? Or maybe, what conversations for justice are we meant to start, inspired by Abraham's boldness?
That's a powerful thought to end on, a real challenge for us all. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. We really hope you found it engaging.
Hope it sparked some thoughts.
Before you go, maybe think about a verse or an idea from one of our past deep dives that really stuck with you. If you feel like sharing, please do drop it in the comments below. We genuinely love hearing your perspectives.
Yeah, it's great to see what resonates.
Thank you again for being part of this discussion. Please remember to like, share this deep dive, and subscribe to the Peace Project for All channel. Share it with people you think might find it interesting. Your support really does help us continue exploring these incredible stories.
It makes a difference.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep that curiosity alive.